Okay, we're going to see how to convert, for example, Microsoft documents or Microsoft Word documents to Google Docs. So what I'll just do is to come here. So let's say it's a content calendar I want to upload. I'm going to right click and then I'm going to choose file upload. So when I click on file upload, I'm going to look for my documents. Okay, so I have this document here, May Week 1 Bible Study, which is a Microsoft Word document. I'm going to open it. So that's going to upload. Let's wait for it. So now you can see the difference. This is a Google Doc and this is a Microsoft Word, Microsoft Word document. So I'm going to open it. So you click on open with Google Docs. So once you open with Google Doc, automatically this is now a Google Doc version of that document. Okay, so what happens is that if I go back here, okay, let me allow this to finish loading. So I'm going to click on file. You can come here and then see save as Google Docs. So automatically this is going to be converted from being, so you can see that on this other document we had the docx. Okay, on this one we do not have it. So we now have, if you come here, we now have a Google document for format of this particular file. So the same thing goes for Excel documents. So I'm going to leave that as a task for you. Create a document on Microsoft Excel, or I'm also going to provide you with the document, in the resources section or in the description, depending on where you are watching this video, and then you are going to convert it to a Google Sheet file. Okay, so this is the last part of this. We are actually going to install Google Drive into our desktop and see how to sync our computer or use it as another storage or a backup for our computer. So to do that, you can just search on your Google bar Google Drive for desktop, and that you should be able to get to. I'm also going to leave this link in the description. I'm also going to provide it in the resource files, right? So if you get to this part, you can install for either your Mac or for your Windows. So I'm going to click install for Windows. So this is where I install all my softwares. I'm going to install it. So this is installing. So while this is installing, briefly, I'd love to talk about Gemini integration. Also, once again, there's something that is quite limited to your subscription or your Google account. Okay, so if you do not have a pro registration, like I said, or a pro subscription, you are not going to have access to Gemini integration. So Gemini is actually Google's AI assistant. It can help you with a lot of things, can help you summarize content, can help you extract key information, can help you draft content. In fact, if you know how to use AI as a tool very well, you can even use Gemini to generate your designs, thumbnail for posts. You can use them to generate content strategy if you know what you're doing. If you are good with content strategy, you can leverage on Google Gemini to produce results for your clients. And then it also helps you find information. So if you are using it on Drive, it can help you with sorting, can help you find what document is where. Okay, so if you are using it in Google Docs, for example, it can help you with corrections, paraphrasing and stuff like that. So one important note I like adding every time I'm teaching someone about AI is this: always review AI generated content before you share it with your clients. Always review it. I always advise people, AI is a tool. Okay, let the strategy come from you, let the ideas come from you. Leverage on AI just like an employee. You should be in control of most of everything. Okay, so these are the practical exercises, but before we do them, we're downloading something, so I'm going to check on that. Okay, and we are going to install Google Drive for desktop. Okay, so it's coming up. I'm going to install it now in my desktop. I love to, I don't know, I have a lot of things on my desktop. You can toggle this or leave it. So I'm going to install that. So this is very easy. After installation, we can just launch it. Okay. So this is Google Drive on desktop. Let's sign in with the account we were using. So you can sign in with your Google account, most preferably your work account, if that's what you want to use for storage. Okay, so we've signed in, and now Google is going to set it up for us. Okay, so you can now see this is Google Drive, right? This is just showing us like an onboarding screen. Okay, so let's open Drive now. So you can see this is Google Drive for desktop. This is how it looks. So I'm going to open the Drive folder. You can see I can access the Drive folder now in my computer. So let's say a client I was working with, maybe I'd just love to okay, put this design into my Google Drive. So I can just copy, Control C, and then click on it. We have all of this. So I can decide to come here, maybe paste what I copied, and then you have the design here now. So you can use Google Drive as a storage on your desktop. So it's quite amazing. So now that we've been able to add Google Drive to our desktop, what's file syncing? So what file syncing helps you do is to share files between your computer and the cloud storage, which in this case is Google Drive, and stay updated on events happening whether on your computer or on Drive. So what this basically means is that if I go to my Google Drive, okay, so if I go to my Google Drive, this is my drive, and then I decide to create a new folder, work on a project, get anything on this drive, okay, like this document we created, I can also go to my computer and work on it locally. That's what syncing means. So it means that if I access my Google Drive here, I should be able to, access that new document I created. So for example, the sample folder for ABC agency, it's here. You can see content calendar. We go to content calendar, we can see the files we uploaded. Now I can also decide to add files from my computer, and then they are going to appear on my Google Drive. If I worked on my computer, I can sync it with my Google Drive, and then if I later use another computer or I'm using my phone, I can have access to that same file. So let's just see the design we added. Okay, and then you can see the doc folder here or here, anyone, and then you can see our design here. So that's how syncing actually works. Okay, and we can also do all this on the Google Drive interface on desktop. Okay, so the syncing activity, you can see what was done where, and even get details about it. So you can see that artboard was added from computer. That's why it's written successfully uploaded, while May week 1 Bible study was downloaded. Okay, so that's how syncing actually works. And then you can open in Web File Explorer, you can share the document, and these notifications will help you keep track of your logs. Okay, so that's basically for Google Drive on desktop and syncing. Let's look at the practical exercises of this course. So what you're going to do is to create a folder structure for a fictional client using Google Drive, and I want you to do it in the order that was provided earlier in this lesson. So you create a folder structure with a client's name. Okay, Then create the following folders. Okay, and then if you're able to do that, then you can organize your folders. So basically, this is not rocket science. This is just like the way you organize folders in your phone or in your computer. It's as simple as that. The difference is just that you're doing this on cloud, or you're even just doing it on your laptop if you actually integrate Google Drive as a storage, just like I showed. And then the second task, upload a Word document and convert it into a Google Doc. So I'm going to provide a Word document for you to actually convert into Google Doc. And then also I'm going to provide you an Excel file to convert into Google Sheets. And then I want you to create a folder, share it with me with my Gmail, designwithme@gmail.com. And then practice the following access. So I want to see you give me viewer access and then update it to commenter access and then editor access. Okay, and then finally I want you to install Google Drive for desktop and explore how file syncing actually works. So we've come to the end of this lesson, and by way of conclusion, I'm going to say that Google Drive is more than a storage tool. It helps virtual assistants organize files, collaborate with clients, manage permissions, convert documents, and maintain efficient workflows. It can even help them, have backup storage, a secondary storage on their computer, just like I showed you. So that brings us to the end of this lesson. And in the next lesson, we'll be treating Google Docs in detail. Okay, so I want you to there are a lot of things you are going to learn about Google Docs that you didn't know before now. So see you in the next lesson.